Hi, everyone. About a minute on my latest piece on Substack. It's called Electrifying Democracy. What's the punchline? That rural electrification is the greatest infrastructure achievement in American history, and there's really no second place. I've been following rural electrification, wrote about it in my latest book, A Question of Power. In fact, I excerpt some parts of A Question of Power in this Substack article. And I quote from two dear friends of mine, Ron and Violet Cawthon, who grew up in rural Oklahoma in the 30s and the 40s, and they remember what it was like before electrification. And isn't it remarkable that we're within living memory of an era in which people lived without electricity here in the United States? And we overcame that. Why? Because of politicians like Burton Wheeler, George Norris, Sam Rayburn, who worked with FDR during the New Deal to pass the Public Utility Holding Company Act of 1935 and the Rural Electrification Act of 1936. And what were the results of that? Well, in the early 1930s, when FDR took office in 1933, 9 out of 10 farms and ranches in America didn't have access to electricity. By 1950, those numbers were exactly reversed. 9 out of 10 farms and rural ranches in America were connected to the grid. And this fundamentally changed the future of America. It allowed rural areas of the United States to grow. It allowed women and girls who had been growing up and living on farms and ranches doing menial work to escape that drudgery of rural life. And Ron and Violet Cawthon, in the interview that I did with them, talked about seeing their mothers, seeing their grandmothers, washing clothes by hand. That was part of the daily reality for them, living without electricity. So I'm proud of this piece. It folds in a lot of things I've been working on, and it's also appropriate to talk about it on today, July 4th, Independence Day, because America has lots of challenges, and we have myriad political issues that we have to deal with, demographic issues, etc. But let's not forget how lucky we are. And the grid that we have today is largely the result, is shaped very clearly by what happened in the 1930s and the New Deal. We have the most diffused ownership of any electric grid in the world, 850 cooperatives, 2,000 publicly owned utilities like here in Austin, Austin Energy, and then the investor-owned utilities, all of them working together now in the American electric grid, and somehow it all works together. But this is all, in many cases, the legacy of the New Deal and what happened in 1935 and 1936. So check out my piece. It's called Electrifying Democracy. It's on my Substack, robertbryce.substack.com. Thanks a lot. See ya.